This video is an introduction on how to complete the square. So when you're completing the square, the first step that you want to do is you have to identify your quadratic expression. You have to have an expression in this form. So that's going to be ax squared plus bx. Now that's going to be your step 0. And then after this, what you need to do is you need to factor out a to make your leading coefficient 1. So that's going to leave you with an expression like a x squared plus b over a times x blank, and then that's going to be where you are going to insert your later expression. So now what you want to do is you want to take the coefficient of the x term, or the middle term, which is your b, your linear term, and you want to divide it by 2. Then you square it. So you're going to have b divided by 2, and then you have b over a divided by 2. That's going to equal to b over a times 1/2. It's equal to b over 2a. And then after this, you square the term b divided by 2a squared, and you add it to the quadratic. But you also subtract a b over 2a squared from the expression, since you need to keep the expression equal to the original one. So now you have a x squared plus b over a times x plus b over 2a squared minus a times b over 2a squared. Now you rewrite the quadratic as a perfect square of 2 factors. So let's do some examples of this. Let's say that we have x squared minus 4x. So this would simplify to x squared minus 4x and a blank. And we have that. So we have negative 4 over 2 is going to be, we need to square it. So that's going to be equal to 4. So then we take 4 and we add it to here, but we also have to subtract it. So then you're left with factoring that. You get what multiplies to 4 but adds up to negative 4. That's going to be x minus 2 times x minus 2. So that's going to be x minus 2 squared minus 4. Now, let's move on to a second example. Let's say you have x squared minus 3x, and you identify that's your b. So you have negative 3 over 2 squared is equal to negative 9, which becomes 9 over 4. And now from here, what you do is you have x squared minus 3x. You have to add 9 over 4, but you also have to subtract the 9 over 4. And now you have x minus 3 over 2 squared minus the 9 over 4 after you factor that. Now, let's say that you have 4x squared minus 8x minus 32. So here we can see that a does not equal to 1. So what does that mean? That means that you have to factor out 4 from 4x squared and from 8x. So what you'll do is you write 4 x squared minus 2x, and then we're going to leave the 32 out here. So then you have 4x squared minus 2x, and then we leave a blank here, minus 32 again, and now we identified that it was our 2. So you have negative 2 over 2 squared. We know that negative 2 squared is going to be equal to positive 4. 2 squared, that's going to equal to 4. So that's going to equal to 1. So that means you have to add 1 to both sides. But remember, we multiplied this 1 by 4 over here. So you see this? That's 4 times 1. So that means you have to add the 4 times 1 to the other side because it has to be equal. And it's actually going to be 4 minus 4 here because you have to subtract 4. This might be a little confusing to you, so we'll write a note here. We subtract 4 here and not 1 since it's multiplied by that factor of 4. And remember, we factored out the leading coefficient from x squared in the first step, so that's why you have to add it back in. And you have to subtract and not add because it must balance. Now, things to remember. When you have an equation, you can add the value to both. Add the value to complete the square to both sides. So again, we have 4x squared minus 8x minus 32 is equal to 0. Then you have 4x squared minus 2x minus 32 is equal to 0. So then you have 4 times x squared minus 2x plus 1 minus 32, 0 plus 4. And then you have 4x minus 1 squared minus 32 is equal to 4. And then you continue from there.